All right, so you're gonna have to ask yourself, how exactly are you training in your Wing Chun and who are you? Be honest first when you start. Guys, Dominic Izzo Wing Chun out here in the Chicago area. It's an overcast spring day and we love it. We're outside training for a little bit to have a conversation. So in the last video, I talked about the whole self-exploration, right? Meaning that if you are not focusing completely on yourself, then you gotta figure out, what are you doing for? What are you learning Wing Chun for? Is it a cool martial art? You want to be like Donnie Yen? You worship Bruce Lee and you want to go back to the nucleus of where he started? You want to learn how to fucking fight? You want to go kick some ass? Or you just want to stay active and relevant in something, and Chi Sao is fucking cool as shit and you want to learn it? I don't care what your reasons are. The common denominator in every fight that you get into, God forbid, is you. End of story. So look at an example. My Kung Fu brother from the same lineage is Sifu Justin Ock. One of my favorite fucking Kung Fu people on the planet. He's my brother. We never met. We talk, this and that. If you're in Lakeland, Florida, and you're not learning Wing Chun from Sifu Ock, you're an idiot. You're an idiot. But if you put Sifu Justin and I side by side, I think he's a little taller than me. I'm 5'7". He might be about 5'9". I can guarantee you I outweigh him. I can guarantee you I am bigger than him. But I can guarantee you he is faster, in better shape, cardiovascular-wise, and he can outgas me when it comes to a fight. So does that mean that, you know, oh, you suck? No, it means that I train for what I can at the time and what I'm going to use it for. I don't want to fight anymore. It's not my thing. Mentally, yeah, oh, I want to fight, but B, at the other side of it, no, man, it hurts. I'm 50. I'm going to run into somebody who's younger, faster, stronger, not stronger, but younger and faster, then they're going to wind up putting a hurting on me. So what do I train Wing Chun for now? I train Wing Chun so that, God forbid, somebody winds up and they want to size me up and maybe they recognize me. They're going to go, I'm going to think twice. Because if he does, he get one hit in, or if he does grab me, I'm fucked. And that's it. And then the other side of it too, I love Wing Chun. It's cool. So let's move on really quickly. When you are training for your purposes, perfect it, right? So we had the punch down last time, centerline punch, you know, and you're perfecting it. And I've talked about this so many times. Get the hips into play. Opposite hip is supported when you go forward, and when you pull back, the same side hip. I have a whole sequence or whole series on Yiji Kim Young Ma and the first form Selim Tao. I have or Selim Tao, whatever you want to pronounce it as. I have a center line punch, you know, where you're punching and you're learning to support as you go, and you're turning punch, and that hip has to come into play. That's all there, and I'll put the links in the description as well too. But if you're going to go back to the basics and rediscover your love for Wing Chun, man, to break everything down, get the minutia of every single movement. Tan Da, right? Tan Sau, right? Tan Sau is on center line when you train, but you know it's going to be about here. And you know it's never going to be here. Tan Sau with a punch coming in, it's going to be about here. That's going to be your Tan Sau with a punch here. That's ultimately how it's going to look. So how do we train it for perfection? Tan Da right down the pipe. Tan Da right down the pipe. Tan Da right. When I'm training it, even in this very basic fundamental concept, what I'm doing is I'm in my stance, I'm sunk, I'm in the earth, you know, from my dantian down is engaged, grabbing into the ground with my root, but my upper half is kind of relaxed, and it's hard to do. Dude, I'm thick. I can't get that in there anymore. I got big old man boobs in the way and shit. So remember, your Wing Chun has to modify as you get older. Hopefully over the next several months, you'll see me trim down a little bit, get a little bit wider, but the problem is that's gonna make some changes as well too. So my ultimate point when it comes down to self-exploration is you can't ever stop discovering what you do, right? I always love the people who are in the comment section and think that everybody needs to look like Ip Man to do Wing Chun. You wanna be a 5'4", 110-pound opiate addict who's on his deathbed doing a wooden dummy, and you think that's how it looks? No. Can an obese person do Wing Chun? Of course they can. Living proof. Can a muscular person do Wing Chun? You shouldn't lift weights for Wing Chun. Bullshit. I've been lifting weights since I was 13 years old, 100%. Point being is discover yourself. So as we get in this, for me personally, I'm always thinking I'm drawing energy up from the earth and it's going down the pipe, right? For me, I can literally feel that the flow of energy is coming right down my hand, and it's going right out my middle finger. The middle finger is always, like my hand is always, but the middle finger, The middle finger's where it's gonna go. And I'm keeping everything relaxed. That middle finger's pointing where that energy is. And I got a little bit of a floppy wrist, but it's going right down there. And the elbow, like I'm discovering all this shit when I train for the perfection, that self-perfection. Same thing with the punch. Boom. Again, my middle finger leads that dance, man. It's down there. Boom. And I can draw back in. And boom. Oh, my middle, yeah. Everything. It's a total self-exploration. When you do that and you learn more about you, instead of jumping into the drills and the Chi Sao and the sparring, you're building a foundation that's unfucking shakeable. I'm gonna tell you, and again, it's because I was forced for the first 4 years of Wing Chun to break a technique down. I didn't learn Chum Q 3 years. It probably took 2 or 3 years before I learned it because I couldn't. Because for the first, 6 months it was, okay, now what? Do it again. Over and over and over and over. It took me 6 months to learn the first form because that's how I got it in pieces. Because my Sifu, Danny Halligan, he was only around once a month. So anyways, all the self-discovery when you do these drills is so crucial. You learn, man, my shoulders forward, they're back. Can I literally deliver a powerful punch from here? Can I deliver a wedge, a strike, a block, a Tan Sau from here? It's literally about you discovering everything on your person, and then you torque it up. Tan punch. Tan punch. Tan punch. You become like that wet towel, right? That's got that snap at the end of it, that whip. Tan punch. Tan punch. Tan punch. And you build off of it. What if we go to Pak Sau next? Tan punch. Pak punch. Gan punch. Tan punch. Pak punch. Tan punch. Gan punch. You start to build things in sequence over time as we go. We'll get to Pak punch next time. But the point being is, everything is delivery. And dude, I will always be transparent. When you do shit like that, and especially if you're aging, you're like, oh man, my elbows felt that, which they legitimately did. So now it's like, all right, how do I turn off that aggressive energy? Oh, shoulder has to be activated for that. Okay, that snapping motion did something there. Oh, if I deliver, here's where the power starts. Here's what's gonna, yeah, okay, turn, boom. You have to take everything back to its simplest of forms, back to basics, learn the foundation. I know you guys love coming on here for seeing the sparring. You love seeing the Chi Sao. You love seeing all that. But I promise you, if you've been with me since 2012 is when I started this channel, if you've been with me, you have seen that the basics are everything. They're everything. There's two things I think that it's about. I think it's A, can you take a fucking hit? Literally, and I don't suggest you ever try this, but the day you ever get punched in the face and you're like, I'm still fucking standing, that's all you got, it opens everything up. And you're like, man, I can take a hit. Then the second part is, can you give a hit? Now remember, the hit in Wing Chun, the strike in Wing Chun is to get to the target to wind up grabbing. Throat grab and up that face. It's the same concept as like in firearms. You use your pistol to get to your long gun. So if you're in a gunfight, you use that pistol. You fire the rounds down range to get to your rifle. That's what you want to do. As far as I'm concerned, this is the pistol until we get in for the rifle. Once you're in grappling range, Wing Chun still exists in there. I'm not saying switch it up to BJJ or even wrestling, because Wing Chun lives in there. That's where you put your body mass into somebody massively. And I'll get to that in the future, right? We'll get to the fact that once you hit and then you close that gap and you grab, now, oh, you freight train that motherfucker right into a wall and then through the wall. That's your Wing Chun. Guys, hope that makes sense. I'd like to see your comment below. Remember, for the Tan Sau, basic, advanced, and then boom, college graduate, boom, 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 torque, boom, and then feel that build up and boom, get it right out of there. I'll see you guys in the next video.